Went through the numbers, and what you saw is, I mean, this has required a lot of engineering on the back end. I mentioned yesterday, we were in a situation where this thing was just totally shot. So we looked at, can you just get a new one? And the bottom line is that would have taken like a year. It was not viable. Can you figure out a way to just go around the system by hand? But you have to do all these checks to comply with law, so you just couldn't do it. So we've engineered it. There's been, I think, 777,000 of the claims have been processed. If you look particularly in the last couple of weeks, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of payments that have gone out. So the last week or two has finally gotten us in a good spot. Not there yet. There's going to be more done on the system over the weekend. But what they're doing on the weekends, because you've seen some major spikes in payments on these Mondays, and that's great, they actually take the interface down. You can still apply on Pega or send in a written application, but it allows them to make changes because the system has really got flawed architecture. And by the way, we're doing an IG investigation into this thing. Was contracted in 2011. It's multiple amendments to this thing. It ended up being $77 million. The engineers I talked to said, look, for that type of money, this thing just didn't fit the bill. So we're going to research that, figure out, investigate, figure out what the problems were. But in the weekend, they do work, but then they're processing all day and all night. And so that, I think, has helped get the numbers up. So we're continuing to work hard. It's obviously not done, but compared to where it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, when literally you could pay like 1,500 people at a time a day, that's not going to cut it when you have this many people. We also, I mentioned yesterday in the brief, one of the part of the bottleneck was not the Florida system either. It was you submit, our system would take it, but then it's got to ping federal databases, which were taking forever to be able to give us answers. And that's required by the law to make sure you have a social security number, some of these things.